Welcome to the special episode of the Emerging Lawyer series at the Coffee Corner Show powered by the Emerging India Forum TIF and a tech partner, Prime Infotech Solution. We have with us our guest speaker, Vandana Pai, senior partner at Bharucha and Partners. Friends, this is a special episode. Why? Because August month is a festival month. We are celebrating Rakhi, then Independence Day, Parsi New Year, and Janmashtami. So, to all of viewers, happy festival. And we are at the Bharuchan Partners office in Mumbai. And so, let me introduce our guest speaker. Vandana's journey spans over 2 decades of spearheading some of the most complex and high value private equity and M&A transactions in the country. Columbia Law alumni, Vandana brings not just strategic brilliance, but also a deep commitment to mentorship, inclusivity, and purpose driven practice. From representing global investors to driving impactful legal reforms within the firm, her story is one of bold decisions, refined precision, and quiet revolution. So, welcome, Vandana, to today's coffee conversation.
Thanks, Mr. Irani. It's a pleasure to speak to you.
He's not Virani. Okay, so let me explain you the flow and the format. There are 3 rounds: professional journey round, personal journey round, and a surprise rapid fire round where you'll be in the hot seat and use inspiration, the AI. I know Bharucha is also becoming AI savvy. Um,
Thank you.
so I've written about Lucia also.
No, I'd love to read it. I'm looking forward to reading it.
Okay, but you have to be witty, fun, and quick, and then you will be getting it. But I have autograph. I know you will be able to crack it. So let's begin. A friend of mine, Amir Virani, hosted Coffee Corner, legal tech evangelist at Prime Infotech Solution, author of 15 books. We help law firms, corporate legal, startup SMEs, world-class technology, software licensing, and tech training solutions. So, Vandana, my first question for your professional journey. You have worked on some of India's most high-stakes M&A and private equity deals. What drew you to this M&A space, and how has the journey been?
I kind of joined the legal profession in early 2000s, and I started my journey with Amar Chand. I think I was very lucky that that was the time when M&A and private equity transactions were really taking off. And both Cyril and Ashwath, they were the two seniors that I was working with at that time. They were really at the forefront of the M&A space. And I was very lucky to get the chance to work with them. They trusted me to actually, take the lead very early on in handling these transactions, like even with the negotiations. And I think I just realized that I loved the complexity of the deal making, the highs that you get out of it, and that's really where my passion lay. So it's been an amazing journey. I think these transactions are not easy, but I feel like the challenges are what still make me keep coming back to the law every day.
Wow, beautiful. So let's dive deep in conversation. Uh, Vandana, according to you, what are the key challenges and considerations when advising global funds entering or exiting the Indian market?
So I think one of the things that I keep telling global funds when they're entering India is I think enforcement is still a challenge. I think we've come a long way in terms of the improvements that our legal system has seen. But if you're trying to enforce a contract, there continue to be delays and other challenges. So be very careful about the JV partner that you're picking. I think in India, the quality of your partner still makes a big difference. And at the time of exit, one of the things I do caution them is liquidation is still again a challenge. So you may not want that company. Your shares may not be worth much, but I think to exit is still challenge, and you need to again find a buyer. So I think once they understand that, I think it's then you kind of build the risk matrix around that.
Wow. Okay. Let's go memory down the lane. Can you share an example where a deal required navigating not just legal, but intense commercial and cultural complexities?
So I think one of the deals that we were doing, my client was German, and it was a very German style of negotiation, whereas the counterparty was an Indian family, and we felt like the negotiations were getting stuck on points which should not matter to the other side. Till I think we realized that they didn't like it being referred to as an acquisition. Once just the vocabulary was changed to saying we're in a partnership, the entire negotiation just changed and was much more, I think, collaborative, was much more facilitative, and I think um, so I think it's really in deal terms, the substance may not have changed, but I think just the way in which it was articulated made that much of a difference. And I think that was a pretty, like, there were two ends of the spectrum in terms of the way they were approaching things, and just in terms of culture, where I think it is important for us to be extremely sensitive to some of this. So yeah, so that was a learning that I think I now try and carry into every negotiation.
Wow, yes. Thanks for that. So, Vandana, in your experience, how do you balance legal precision with practical business outcomes?
So I think at the end of the day, I think it's not just a question of getting your own way. I think at least on M&A deals, you need to find a deal that works for everyone. And I think, there's a philosophy which really says the best deal is where both parties walk away feeling like they've left something on the table. So I think that's really a balance that you need to strike. And so I think for us, the way we approach it, and I ask like my team to approach it, is to say, let's try and find solutions. And obviously we will ensure that it's within the legal framework and everything is compliant. But at the end of the day, your client really needs to do the business.
Wow, perfect. So, let's go to your days at Columbia Law School. Uh, how was the time over there, and how did it help in shaping your global legal outlook and career choices?
So the LLM at Columbia actually has had, at least in my year, we were from about 67 countries. So that was just like an extremely diverse, student body. I think it was amazing just interacting with them. I think I've now made like connections across the world. So I think one of the ways that has really helped me is like even today, if there are cross-border deals that are happening, if I need to reach out, it's usually my first point of call would be the alumni that I'm reaching out to before anyone else. It's also been some great friendships that I think continue to be that I continue to like have, and that's been great. And I think New York, just spending that 1 year in New York, I just feel like made me a much more all-rounded personality.
Wow, yes. Wow. So now you're also focusing on ESG. How is the role of lawyers evolving in private equity and corporate governance, focusing on ESG while uh, ये making the deal?
So, so for the funds, which have an ESG focus, I think it's kind of come into every stage of the transaction. So I think the diligence now focuses on ESG aspects, including, how will some of these risks get potentially even pan out post deal. I think we need to be very careful about the clauses that we're putting into the documentation. Sometimes funds come to us and say that please do a post-closing audit to actually see if the target, they could have agreed to everything on paper, but are they really implementing it? I think a lot of the regulators now are getting very, asking for disclosures, and if you've misdisclosed or there's greenwashing, then there are consequences to that. So I really think that ESG. I mean, if it's a deal where ESG is important, then the lens by which we look at it has completely changed.
Wow. So according to you, what trends do you see shaping the next generation of M&A lawyers?
I think that would be right up your alley. I really think technology is what is going to,
I'm
you
coming to that
know,
part.
I think that is what's going to shape it. I think many years back, I remember a senior counsel that I had gone to brief who said, "I'm technology challenged. Please do not require me to do." Like I think we were trying to give him a brief on a soft copy rather than saying all of those pages being printed. I don't think lawyers can really afford that anymore.
Yeah.
So I think you have to be tech savvy, and I think you really need to be able to integrate that into your day-to-day working.
Wow. So, okay, that was technology. Now let's come to yeah, how is AI impacting M&A? I'm dividing into two parts: M&A advisory work, and how has experience been using the different legal tech tools like the Workshare Compare, Lucio, Luminance, and as you're saying it rightly, AI is there to enable you, and not we can give printouts and go in the old ways. And there are other ways also which is helping. So let's hear it from you.
So I think on M&A, I think AI tools have really integrated into first the diligence. I think they make the speed of review much faster, because I think wherever there's data crunching that needs to happen, then I think AI genuinely and the OCR technology, etc., really helps with that. We're also seeing AI getting used, for document building, for like you said, document compares to really compare, like to the extent with every turn of the draft where there are changes that come in, using that to really track the changes that have come in. Um, we're also seeing them in transaction management, just in terms of tracking the conditions that need to be met, the consents that come in. So yeah, so I actually think AI is today helping on every aspect. I still don't believe they're replacing lawyers, but I do think that they are a very valuable assistant. And I just see that skill at their end improving the more AI learns.
Wow. Yes. Okay. I see. Besides advising, you are also an independent director at corporate companies. So, how did the journey start, and how different is that role from being a legal advisor, and how has experience been?
So I know, like the perception is that law firm partners are, we highlight risk and then we leave it to business to take the call. I actually think that that has changed. Now, whether I'm on the board or I'm like just advising them from externally, to me, I don't think it's enough to just highlight risk. I think you need to quantify risk for the business team, and you need to find solutions, or you need to learn to ring fence risk. So I I hope I kind of am the same whether I'm on the board or I'm a third party advisor to the client. That is my skill set and that is what I'm bringing to the table. It has been a great journey. I think there's a lot of responsibility, associated with that position, and there is, I mean, and I would, I mean, but yeah, but I think I've been very fortunate that the boards I was with were very supportive. They helped me learn with them. So it has been a great journey.
Wow. Okay. So, how do you approach Vandana diversity and inclusion from a leadership standpoint at Bharucha and Partners?
So, Mr. Virani, so I'm a member of Women in Private Equity. So that's a forum which is there, and I was speaking to them yesterday. So we kind of met, and we were discussing like what does it really mean to kind of have, say, women reach senior positions, right? I think one is to really I don't think it's so much just having a policy in place, but I think really giving them that flexibility and the freedom. So it's not like promotions are withheld if you've taken maternity leave and you're away for a certain period of time. I think it's also just ensuring that if they do need flexibility or a hybrid work model for a period of time, you kind of support that. So I think for us, inclusion really means respecting people's needs and I think supporting them when they need it. And I think rather than it being like a very, you have to be in office from X to Y time, or just making it like yeah. So I really feel that it's a question of walking the talk.
Wow, beautiful. So, my last question for your professional journey around Vandana: what advice would you give to women lawyers who want to enter the world of M&A advisory work?
I would say definitely do, even in your student days, I think try and understand business. I think we're not just purely kind of advising on the law. I think in M&A, it's very important for you to understand the commercials of the transaction which are there. The more you read, the more you follow the business world, I think the easier it is. I would say definitely get familiar with tech. That is something we use a lot now. And lastly, I would say never feel always ask questions, always kind of put up your hand if you're asked what you want to do. Never second guess yourself on whether you'll be a good M&A lawyer or not. I think if you really want it, you will be a good M&A lawyer.
Wow. So let's go to the next round and understand Vandana as a person. Tell us about your family and your formative years.
So, no one from my family, actually, even my extended family, were lawyers. So, we're more a family of doctors and engineers. The law came up in one of the aptitude tests that I was doing when I was in high school. And I think I had a very romanticized view of the law. I read a lot, and I think author like books like Horace Rumpel and Perry Mason just made me feel like law is going to be that. But yeah, but it's been I mean, I then got into national law school, and I kind of accepted that. And my parents were supportive of it. But yeah, but I think my formative years were much more middle class, like very traditional background.
Wow. Okay. So, why did you select to go to NLU, and how has the experience been?
So I think in 1998, when I like really got in, at that time it was one of the only 5-year law schools that were there. It had a great reputation, so I think my parents were supportive when I got through the entrance exam at that time. I think those were one. I mean, I loved my time at National Law School. We were much smaller at that time. I think the entire campus had 400 students, so we were very close knit. There was a lot of interactions with your seniors. It also gave me great opportunities, like to moot, to write articles, to so yeah. So it was a great 5 years.
Wow. So, sorry. So, what's a childhood memory that brings a smile on your face?
I think my dog, his name was Murphy. I think
So,
there are
one more dog
many.
lawyer.
I am a dog lover. Now I have three.
Three.
But yeah, but I mean, I don't have one memory, but I think if I have a bad day, just thinking about him makes that day much better.
Wow. Okay. So, what's a weekend in Vandana's life look like when you are completely off duty?
Being completely off duty is, I think, a rare privilege. It's difficult to come by, but I think what I try doing on weekends is spending time with, again, my dogs and my 3-year-old daughter. So we tend to like. I think we're experts on all the dog parks in the city. We like going there, spending time. I also love cooking, so if I have some time, then I would like. I mean, I'd like and cook for my family. But otherwise, I think it's really just about today spending time with them as much as I can.
Wow. So, which is your signature dish? Because you're coming in a, what do you say, a, what do you say, interfaith family. And now Parsi New Year also coming up. So, what will you be preparing on the Parsi New Year?
So Parsi New Year, I think, would be more traditional Parsi dishes like the dhansa. I mean, yeah, the Parsi dishes like patrani machi and stuff. But
I know.
I like cooking non-Indian food. So I think so yeah, I think French cuisine is what I really like cooking.
Wow.
And yeah, and thankfully my husband loves eating it. So
That's interesting. Okay. So, any like Parsis go for plays. So, do you all go for around Parsi New Year? Go for plays. Well, there is a play coming at NCP Tata Theatre.
yes, but no, I mean, I think currently, I think the effort is to try and like spend time with the dogs and the daughter. So I think the times when we have to leave them and go out and for entertainment has really reduced. So while earlier, yes, we would do a lot more of the going out. I think we've become much more homebodies now.
Wow. So, what kind of movies or music do you enjoy when you want to switch off from your legal work?
So I learned the piano when I was growing up. So
Hmm.
I think for me, it's really been Western classical music that I really enjoy. But I think over the last few years, there's a lot of, I think, innovation happening in Indian classical music also, which is something that I've been finding interesting. But yeah, my go-to would be classical music.
Wow, interesting. So, if your friends had to describe you in three words outside of work, what would it be?
One is foodie. I think I love food to
Wow.
both eat and cook.
Mhm.
The second, I think, is quiet. I am very introverted. And I think the third would be, I guess, empathic because I'm usually the people they call if they have to vent. And
Okay. Wow, that's interesting. Okay, so my last three questions are reflective. What are your plans for 2025 personally and professionally?
so professionally, I think we would like to keep building on the investment funds practice. I
Mhm.
think the firm and the team have really got a great reputation in terms of the kind of private equity and venture capital investors we work for. We'd obviously like to grow that. We'd like to keep doing the complex deals that we're doing, and hopefully be the name of first recall if someone's saying, this is complex work, who should we be going for? I think that's really the reputation we want to build. On the personal front, I think it is a difficult balance with trying to achieve that goal, but as much time as I can spend with my daughter and the dogs.
Yeah, I can understand. Okay. Uh, we have got a series at the Coffee Gonna Show, Sri Shakti. So what does Sri Shakti mean to you?
I think to me, Shri Shakti is actually, the women empowerment is really women just getting a fair shot at achieving what they can. I think there's this meme which was all over like the social media for a time where there's a man and a woman and they're just running, and then the man takes the two kids, and the woman obviously then wins the race or is overshoots him, and it's really saying, I think that was just so, like, if it is Sri Shakti, then empower her to actually achieve her full potential.
Oh, beautiful. So the last one is a googly one. Describe Vandana in one line.
If I have to, I would say me, Vandana is Vandana's philosophy, and my philosophy is live and let live.
Beautiful. So let's go to the next round and put you in the hot seat. Your favorite color?
Blue.
Why everyone say blue?
I
You
find
don't
it very
understand because
soothing.
my color is also blue for you, and I'm wearing a blue blazer.
Yeah, no, for me, it's very soothing. I find it as a color which kind of just soothes me.
Wow. Your go-to comfort food.
I would say pasta.
You're a morning person or night owl?
Morning person.
One word that defines your leadership style.
Collaborative.
A book that deeply moved you.
Which deeply moved me. I think it would be Kite Runner.
Wow. It's a beautiful book.
Yeah.
Favorite city in the world, not work related.
Osaka.
Wow. Best piece of advice received.
Nothing is personal.
One thing you wish people knew about lawyers.
We are fun people.
Yeah, true, true. Tea or coffee to recharge.
Coffee.
Yes, let's read the taste.
Cheers.
So, friends, what a phenomenal conversation we had with Vandana Pai, senior partner at Baruchan Partners, from navigating complex cross-border deals to nurturing inclusive leadership at Baruchan Partners. Vandana exemplifies what it means to lead with both head and heart. Her journey reminds us that behind every landmark transaction lies a deep commitment to purpose, people, and progress. Whether you're a law student, associate, or a seasoned professional, there's something to take away from a grounded wisdom and razor sharp clarity. So, Thank you, Vandana, for sharing your story with such candor and grace. You not only decoded the business of law, you have redefined its soul. So until next time, stay curious, stay courageous, and keep evolving. So subscribe to the Coffee Corner Show, where there are 500 plus coffee speakers who have shared their inspiring professional personal journey. And if you want to be featured like Vandana, you visit our website, the Emerging India Forum, or LinkedIn page, or connect with one of the coffee speakers, as we mostly do on Zoom. In person are for those privileged special people, uh, because this is the Coffee Corner is a social initiative, and we like to. Our taglines are memory maker, a change maker, and bring smiles for lifetime. So share your journey, keep inspiring, and we meet with another coffee speaker and keep the conversation with coffee. Thank you.
Thank you.